Pease Air Force Base. In 1950, people in New Hampshire learned of plans to build a large air base in Newington and Portsmouth, which would house long-range bombers of the Strategic Air Command. Plans called for runways greater than 2 miles in length and housing for 7,000 military and civilian personnel. Roughly $83 million was devoted to the largest construction project in New Hampshire history. Groundbreaking took place in 1954. On September 7, 1957, the base was formally dedicated and named for Captain Harl Pease, who lived from 1917 to 1942, a Plymouth native who was awarded the Medal of Honor posthumously in World War II. Pease closed as a Strategic Air Command base and home of the famous 509th Bomber Wing in 1991, although it remains home to the New Hampshire Air National Guard. Vietnam. The American policy of containing communism led to the United States' support for an independent, non-communist South Vietnam. American civilian and military advisors began arriving in South Vietnam in the 1950s. By 1965, President Johnson decided to block further communist aggression in South Vietnam by using American air, naval, and ground troops. Eventually, more than 500,000 American soldiers were stationed in South Vietnam. For the United States, the war dragged on until 1973. For Vietnam, the war and the government of South Vietnam lasted until 1975. More than 500 New Hampshire National Guardsmen were sent to Vietnam in September 1968. New Hampshire's 3rd Battalion, 197th Field Artillery, was the largest National Guard unit from the Northeast to serve in Vietnam. Desert Shield. As the Cold War came to an end, the United States remained the one true superpower capable of military intervention anywhere in the world. When Saddam Hussein of Iraq invaded neighboring Kuwait in 1990, the United States chose to punish the aggressor. Early in 1991, the United States led a 28-nation coalition against the Iraqi leader. Following a massive military buildup in the region, the American-led coalition attacked Iraq with bombs and missiles. This was followed by a brief and decisive ground attack, which overwhelmed the Iraqi forces. The 157th Air Refueling Wing flew 322 sorties during Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Meanwhile, the 744th Transportation Company, stationed in Hillsborough, Claremont, and Somersworth, was sent to Saudi Arabia. Company B, 1st Battalion, 25th Marine Regiment, and the Mobile Inshore Undersea Warfare Unit of the U.S. Naval Reserve, both of Manchester, also served in the Persian Gulf. Operation Enduring Freedom. Operation Enduring Freedom, an international military campaign initiated to eliminate the militant group Al-Qaeda and their affiliated supporters who were responsible for the 11 September 2001 attacks on the United States. Joining the effort, a coalition of several nations was formed. Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan began in October 2001 to oust the Taliban government and their Al-Qaeda supporters. United States and NATO forces aggressively engaged Al-Qaeda and Taliban forces and were successful in establishing security in the region. Several engagements continued to eliminate Al-Qaeda and Taliban units who refused to support the newly formed democratic government. The Hampshire National Guard and Reserve components were mobilized and deployed to Afghanistan to serve alongside active duty counterparts. Many Guard and Reserve personnel served multiple tours of duty in support of this operation. Operation Iraqi Freedom. In March 2003, an air-ground invasion of Iraq was launched. The dictatorship of Saddam Hussein was ruthless and posed great danger to the Iraqi people and democratic nations worldwide. The potential of weapons of mass destruction being in the hands of a powerful Iraqi dictator who also had terror cells in training created a call to action. Saddam Hussein's Iraqi government and Al-Qaeda affiliated groups dissolved in April 2003. The U.S. and NATO coalition continued to battle insurgent uprisings who were determined to fight the new democratic government of Iraq. New Hampshire citizen soldiers once again answered the call. Several Army and Air National Guard and Reserve component units were mobilized and deployed to both Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan and Operation Iraqi Freedom in Iraq. Many experienced multiple deployments in support of their total force mission to suppress world terrorism. Medal of Honor, Slide 1. On July 12, 1863, in the wake of the Battle of Gettysburg, Congress authorized the Medal of Honor. The medal is to be presented by the President, in the name of the Congress of the United States, to a member of the Armed Forces who distinguished himself conspicuously by gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of life above and beyond the call of duty. As of Veterans Day, November 11, 2003, 59 New Hampshire men had been awarded the Medal of Honor, 5 posthumously. The Medal of Honor is the United States of America's highest and most prestigious personal military decoration that may be awarded to recognize U.S. military service members who have distinguished themselves by acts of valor. The medal is normally awarded by the President of the United States in the name of the U.S. Congress. Because the medal is presented in the name of Congress, it is often referred erroneously as the Congressional Medal of Honor. However, the official name of the current award is Medal of Honor. Within the United States Code, the medal is referred to as the Medal of Honor, and less frequently as Congressional Medal of Honor. U.S. awards, including the Medal of Honor, do not have postnominal titles, and while there is no official abbreviation, the most common abbreviations are MOH and MH. Medal of Honor, Slide 2. There are 3 versions of the medal, one each for the Army, Navy, and Air Force. Personnel of the Marine Corps and Coast Guard receive the Navy version, while members of the Space Force receive the Air Force version. The Medal of Honor was introduced for the Navy in 1861, soon followed by an Army version in 1862. The Medal of Honor is the oldest continuously issued combat decoration of the United States Armed Forces. The President typically presents the medal at a formal ceremony intended to represent the gratitude of the U.S. people, with posthumous presentations made to the primary next of kin. According to the Medal of Honor Historical Society of the United States, in 2019, there have been 3,525 Medals of Honor awarded to 3,506 individuals since the decoration's creation, with over 40% awarded for actions during the American Civil War. In 1990, Congress designated March 25th annually as National Medal of Honor Day. Since 1948, the Medal of Honor and all service decorations awarded to members of the armed forces by any of the armed services have been afforded special protection under U.S. law against any unauthorized adornment, sale, or manufacture, which includes any associated ribbon or badge. Staff Sergeant Ryan Pitts grew up in Mount Vernon, New Hampshire. He graduated from Souhegan High School and he lives in Nashua, New Hampshire. Staff Sergeant Pitts received the Medal of Honor on 21 July 2014. He accepted his medal on behalf of all his fellow soldiers, including 9 who had fallen. In receiving his medal, Staff Sergeant Pitts said the following: "It's our medal, not mine."